In today's segment with the Higgins Firm, we're talking about the False Claim Act. It's the biggest rewards program in the country. More than $300 million has been paid so far this fiscal year. Attorney Jim Higgins recently stopped by to explain. Jim, welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
All right, so this is the biggest rewards program in the U.S. So talk a little bit about the False Claims Act's reward program and how it works. Kind of walk us through that.
Sure. Well, we all hear about the government giving rewards, and I think in general you think of it as Crime Stoppers or the old Western reward sign. But truly, the most the government ever has paid out, and it's happened since the Civil War, is what we call a key tam case or a False Claim Act. Some people call it whistleblower. But it's where someone reports to the government or files a case on behalf of the government, letting them know that somebody's ripping them off, that a business is charging the government for things that they're not really getting. Probably the biggest ones you see are medical, that a hospital, that a doctor's office, that they're charging the government or Medicare or Medicaid for services that aren't being provided, that they're saying people are getting generic drugs and they're actually are prescription drugs and they're actually getting generic, instead of name brand. So, but it's where someone has this information and they're called a relator, and if they do it correctly and they report it to the government, there's been huge, 100 million, 200 million. We've been involved in multi-million-dollar ones, and the relator can keep anywhere from 15 to 30% sometimes of the money that the government gets. That's the reward.
So tell us about the ones you've been involved with. What are the most common cases you've seen?
Well, we've been involved in ones, for instance, one going where a company was charging the government for labor that really wasn't getting done, billing the company for their employees, saying that they were paying them a lot higher than they actually were. And each time they made that false claim, that's a damage under the act. Again, we see a lot in the medical industry, and I think that's probably, well, the medical industry is so big now, and of course in Nashville it is too. So, but there are all sorts of different ones. We get a lot of calls from different people. Some of them are viable, and some of them aren't. But it's probably worth calling and checking out.
Yeah. So if somebody watching today, if they believe their employer maybe is doing this, if they're cheating the government, what should they do? It seems like the ethical thing would be to do something about it.
Right. Well, I think most of the cases we have, I believe it was the ethical thing. I really do. But it's a scary thing, and I think that's why the financial rewards there is the government knows that when people come out and make these complaints, that they may lose their job, that they're taking a risk. There are some really tight requirements. It's not the matter of just making a phone call and also you can get a reward. If they think there is a serious claim, they should call our office, because it has to be done very precisely. And we'll be glad to talk to them in confidence and see if it's something we think they should move forward with or not, or maybe call a certain department of the government, but we don't mind talking to people.
All right, Jim, thanks so much.
Thank you.
The Higgins Firm is serving Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-924-8500 or go to higginsfirm.com.